when it comes to shading, I've pretty much streamlined how I do it. I have a folder, as you can see right here, that's full of my flats, and I can toggle it on and off so that I can see this pink that I put underneath everything. I rely on that pink a lot. I'm gonna make a new layer for my actual shading, and I'm gonna set it to color burn. And I mark the layer, I make it purple, and I drag the opacity, or like the opacity down to 69%. Nice. And then I use this purple. This purple right here is what I use for all of my shading. And I mean all of my shading. I'm going to turn off the main colors here just so I can see only this pink and work on top of the pink itself. And I'm going to show you like all the steps that I usually use when I'm working on like a piece. I'm not gonna speed anything up. This is literally just like how quickly I work. And the goal is to get down like the areas that I know are very dark first, and then we'll do some blending to make everything look kind of cool like how I normally do it. I started shading like this because I am a webcomic artist. And with webcomics, you need to work as smart as possible. And I realized that I was wasting a lot of time with like color picking and trying to figure out like what needs to go where for like, okay, I have a blue, how many tones darker do I need to go for it to look right? And instead, I just use this purple everywhere and do some color adjusting at the end. And it makes everything a lot more cohesive. It makes everything look so much better. And because I'm using this color purple, right, you should never shade with black. Like there are very few instances where shading with black is necessary. You generally want to use a color like blue or purple, or like even I've seen people use red a lot. That's kind of where I started. I started using reds and eventually upgraded to this little purple here. But what I do is I block everything out that I want, that I know is going to be the darkest parts. And then I do this with a pen. Maybe I'll put all of my the Clip Studio assets that I'm using in the description or whatever. Or you can ask me if I'm sending this to you in Discord, which little guys I use for what. Because I really only focus on, I have the guy that I sketch with, I have what I used to ink with that I now use for coloring and blocking that you see right now. And I have a messy tone, a half tone, and then one that I call Shady Boy, that you'll see that I use a lot. But first, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna just I'm not gonna do this whole, like this whole body. I just want to do like the head, some of the hair, and like a little bit of the clothing, so I can show you how I treat all those things, because I treat them all differently. So like I might be using one color to shade, but I'm doing different things with that shading, right? So like for hair versus clothing, I'm gonna treat it differently. But first I just have to make all of these little like sections of like where I know it's darkest. And I'm trying to get better at figuring out lighting. I've been experimenting with lighting a lot, and sometimes I get a little more creative with it, but when it comes to like, this is just a piece that I know where the light source is coming from. It's pretty basic, and I don't have to do anything super complicated. So I'm just gonna like go in and like get all these blocks in. Once the blocks are in, actually I think I need to do the hat too. Yeah, let's get the hat. So super hard shadows first. That's where you start. And it looks ugly and weird. Trust the process. It will, it'll make more sense in a second. I feel like maybe I should speed this up a little bit, but I don't I don't think it's necessary, actually. Because once we have all of this done, this is where I go and I use a messy tone. It's called Messy Toe 2. And I use this specifically for clothing. So up on the hat, I'm going to like take the edges and slowly, you can see that I'm making those edges less like hard, I guess. So I'm able to go in and make them a little messy. And then I use my Shady Boy, which is my main guy, to actually really smooth it out. So I use the shady one the most everywhere. I use it on hair especially. And it looks weird because I go in and I smooth everything out in this way so that everything is shaded closer to the root. And like there's shadows of the hair and like over the nose. And what I do is I make everything really smooth, and then you're gonna see that I go in. Oh yeah, I forgot a spot. It's also by only having one color, and I'm able to just switch back and forth very quickly, and it like streamlines and it makes making comics way easier, right? So we do a bunch of shading where I'm figuring out where I need things to be a little bit smoother, especially along the actual edge where those hard places are. So once I do that, especially for the hair, because people really like how I do hair, and it's really I do hard lines and then just smooth it out a whole lot. And after I smooth out these little places, you're gonna see I take my main pen that I use, the one that I just used to block in the hard lines. I go down here and I switch it to this, like, you're not really using a color, you're literally using opacity instead. And that's when I go in and I put my hair highlights, right? And I do that. I'm essentially erasing, but I'm using the tool as the eraser instead of like a hard eraser that makes things look much cleaner. I'm using something that purposely makes things look rough and a little dirty, a little gritty. So for hair, I take all these little like shiny parts that I know I want to have, and I just kind of put them wherever I want there to be some shinies. It's taken me a while to like figure out like what feels natural to me. And I'll also start adding highlights around certain parts of like clothing to make those darks pop a little bit more by playing with those edges a little bit. And I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go in here and just make these really quick motions. Again, this is not sped up whatsoever. This is just literally like how quickly I work now. And when I'm really in the groove, I can do hair like almost instantly. And I add like little extra highlights, and this kind of creates a guideline for me for later. I missed doing some of the it's easy to spot when you forget a place because it's not smooth, and you want to go in, smooth it out, and then come in and erase parts of it. And so it's a lot of laying things down and then going in and undoing all of it, and making things look a little more like cohesive, I guess, because once you go in and scratch out some of the edges, like it looks more natural. Like I guess is what I'm trying to say. It looks like it's on purpose because it is. You just kind of have to trust the process and let yourself get there. Because in the beginning it doesn't look super great. And then lately, once I have all these spots that I've subtracted, I'm trying to make halftone work for me. if that makes sense. So I'm also using the halftone in some places that where like the opposite is happening, right? Like where the light is coming into where the shadow is. I'm smoothing around edges by making it look a little more interesting, a little more fun. So like I take the halftone, and if there's a place that I did a lot of correcting, or if there's a place where the shadows are very different, like it clashes, then I put the halftone there, and it kind of like, it makes it seem, again, purposeful. And it lets me have spaces that I know if I want to go in and add highlights, I can do that. So what I'll do is I'll put them like here and there, and like that's pretty good to me. And then when I switch the colors on, it looks phenomenal. And I did all that work on one layer, and then I go on top of the actual lines themselves, and this is where I put highlights in based on where I just made those spots. So for hair, the highlights go on the very top, and I kind of try to not only follow where I put those lines, but I also extend some of the lines just so they're uneven, so it looks more natural. Like right here, I'll go in and I'll add a little bit of extra. I don't think I liked how that one looks, so I'm gonna fix it a little bit, but it's just like, just a little bit of extra so that it looks natural. And that is what I do for all the hair. I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that I add. I might add more like halftone depending on if I need like an extra pop of color or not. But no, I think that what we're gonna do is we're just gonna finish up the hair like really quickly, because like it's so natural to me now, and after you do this like a bunch, it's just gonna come out of you really fast. I have to sneeze. It's huge on the waveform. But yeah, so then we get to I had to and like because I can turn my colors off, I can go in and work in places that I normally wouldn't be able to see super well. And so I'm able to turn all the colors off, keep working, do some highlights over the black. And this helps a lot when I'm using blacks or blues that are too much. And it really saves you from a lot of the where the fuck is my layer that sometimes happens. And yeah, I just add little extra pieces here and there. And once it looks right to me, I'm able to turn all the colors back on. It looks great. And then if I need any extra, like super extras, right? I will also make a layer and I'll set it to add glow, and that's where I do like my earrings. A lot of the time, I'll add extras in the eyes. I didn't do that for this because that's not like really a shading part, right? So yeah, I've tried to learn how to not use like a ton of layers. I think that once you're using a ton of layers for your shading, you're kind of losing it a little bit. And because I'm using color burn doesn't affect the color white at all, so I do have to make an extra layer that's set to multiply to do anything on whites like that. So like that's how I do that. I really hope it helped you. Let me know if this helped some of your process.